What's going on, boys? It's the Lone Courier here, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about Treyarch's next Call of Duty game. So I understand that we're barely even 2 months into Modern Warfare 2's life cycle. However, I have just been thinking recently about what's going to happen with Treyarch's next release. Done a little bit digging as well to see if I can find any leaks or information that's out there. There is a little bit, but none of it is concrete. It's all leaks, it's all rumours, so you don't know if any of it is actually true or not. This is all liable to being bullshit. I just want to say that right at the start of the video before the game gets revealed at some point and everybody turns around on this video and goes, "You were talking a lot of shit in this video, man, what the fuck?" But, you know, it's all up in the air. This is all leaks, rumours, so it's all liable to be changed at the very last second. So don't take this as gospel. It might not be right, it might be incorrect, you never know. So we've heard some leaks, potentially, that Modern Warfare 2, now this is more about Modern Warfare 2, we've heard that Modern Warfare 2 is going to have a 2-year life cycle instead of the standard 1-year life cycle. Now this means that there's not going to be a full Call of Duty release in 2023. This is probably not news to any of you, because this leak has been doing the rounds for a while now. Everybody's heard this by now, I'm assuming. But yeah, it basically means that we're not going to be seeing a Call of Duty release in 2023, which is the first break from an annual release in Call of Duty's life cycle, like in Call of Duty's lifetime. I don't think there has ever been a year that's passed without a Call of Duty releasing, except maybe the early years of COD. But since Modern Warfare 1, there has not been a year that's went by without another COD coming out. So it is going to be very strange not seeing an annual release for COD in 2023. It's just going to be very jarring at first. But I am hoping that that means that these games are going to get a lot more support, and it means that there's going to be a lot more time for developing their fucking games, which is the problem with Treyarch. Now, I'm not pinning this on Treyarch, trying to make it sound like it's their fault, because the problem with Treyarch's last few games is that you hear 6 months after the game's released that there was absolute horror stories behind the scenes in the studio, like absolute hectic shit going on behind the scenes, and you wonder how they even managed to get the game out in a functioning state at all. Like, never mind the fact that they released the game. It's kind of incredible sometimes, because Cold War, there was this big drama in the zombies community about the lack of content in it. And don't get me wrong, I was part of the complainers. Like, I was one of the people that was complaining about the lack of content in Black Ops Cold War Zombies. And it all makes sense. After Vanguard comes out, you find out Treyarch were working on Vanguard Zombies as well. So now we all know that was the reason why Black Ops Cold War Zombies were so weak. And then it's just the fact as well that they'd never worked on the IW8 engine before. Like, that was the new Modern Warfare 19 engine that they were using for Vanguard. Treyarch have never worked on that before. They've always worked on their own versions of the engines. Like, Infinity Ward, they've always had their own version of the Quake engine, which is what they use. Quake, the original 90s arena shooter game, Call of Duty have been using the Quake engine for the longest time. I don't think they've ever used another engine. It's always been the Quake engine. Essentially, all three developers have their own modification on the Quake engine. You've got the IW variant of it, which goes back to the Modern Warfare 1 days, like the OG COD 4 days, not Modern Warfare 2019. So that engine goes all the way back to then. Treyarch's one goes all the way back to World at War, which was just a updated, modded version of the Infinity Ward engine, which has obviously grew arms and legs at this point, and it's became Treyarch's modification of the engine. And I'm pretty sure Sledgehammer have got their own version of it as well, which they've used in Advanced Warfare, Vanguard, World War 2, and Modern Warfare Remastered as well. So they've all got their own versions of it. And see, working with game engines, it's hard stuff. I don't think people realise this, especially YouTubers. I don't think they realise how hard game development actually is. See, I'm not a game developer. I've not got much experience of it, but I did go to college for a couple of months to try and do a games development course, and I realised I couldn't do it because this shit is hard as fuck. Like, don't get me wrong, it is hard. So a lot of these things that people ask for when it comes to Call of Duty, a lot of it's a big ask, you know, like some of it's small, you know, like the UI type of stuff, that could be worked on and it's not the hardest thing in the world, but there's a lot of shit that is very hard to work on. So I understand why Vanguard Zombies came out the way it did, and I understand why it penalised Cold War Zombies so much, but hopefully with this information that we're not going to be getting annual releases anymore, that we're going to be getting a 2-year life cycle of the games, that is an extra year in development for these games. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that that means that we're going to get a higher standard of Call of Duty games in the future. Now, we can only hope that that is going to be the case. We don't know for a fact. It might not be. The games might get worse. You never know. You know what Activision are like. They could just get worse. It's always an opportunity. It's always an option for them. I'm just saying. as I said, hopefully it means that we get a little bit more content with these games as well. Hopefully it means that we get some more zombies maps. We might get Outbreak at launch with Cold War 2 or whatever it's called. Yeah, I'm just going to call it Cold War 2 for the sake of easiness. You know, we might get an Outbreak 2.0, which I feel could be perfect. If they're going to run this game off of the IW engine, then they could use a lot of the stuff that's in DMZ. They could have a marketplace type of system, similar to DMZ, you know, where you find these loot items in the game and you can sell them off in the store and you can make points or cash or whatever system they're going to use in the game for buying your guns and zombies. You know, they could do something like that in Outbreak 2. I really feel like Outbreak 2 would be a good option for this game. Bring that back, because DMZ came with Modern Warfare 2, so that's kind of like their extra mode, Spec Ops / DMZ, where you'd have zombies in there and then you'd have Outbreak in there as well. And that's nice. That is a nice amount of content right there between those two modes if they had both at launch. That would be pretty fucking cool. And especially right now, if they've got all this extra development time, I'm hoping that that means that they bring out something like Outbreak 2 at launch. Fingers crossed. So, another thing as well that I want to talk about is multiplayer. Now, with the shift onto the IW8 engine, this worries me a little bit. Mainly just for the fact that this engine plays way differently than to Treyarch's Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 and Cold War's engine. So Cold War's engine was running a modified version of BO4, which ran on a modified version of BO3's engine, which is obviously on Treyarch's variant of their IW engine. It's probably called the Treyarch engine at this point, I don't know. But hopefully, if they're using this new IW8 engine for multiplayer, hopefully they can manage to retain the classic arcade feel of the Treyarch shooter. Now the thing is Treyarch multiplayer has always felt a little bit more arcadey than Infinity Wards has. Now, Infinity Wards have felt a little bit arcadey in the past. COD 4 felt arcade style and so did Modern Warfare 2. But in terms of Infinite Warfare, that was a little bit more on the arcade style. But Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2, that is their new style. And it's a little bit more tactical, a little bit more grounded. And I'm just hoping that if Treyarch are using this engine, then it can at least retain their classic arcade feel of the game. And in terms of map design, I know they'll probably go with their similar formula that they're used to, and I'm hoping that that is the case, because we all play these games for their own reasons. Like, we all play Treyarch games because, or at least the Treyarch fanboys anyway, like myself, we play it because we like the way Treyarch's games all feel. And I'm just hoping, got my fingers crossed again, that that's what it's going to come out feeling like. Because if it's a Treyarch game and it doesn't feel arcade style, then it's not going to feel right playing it, you know, it's just going to feel very weird. So, the last thing I've got here that I want to talk about before I end this video off, because I don't want to make it too long, like my usual videos. But the last thing I want to talk about here is Warzone. Now, Warzone, if they do this next Treyarch game, no doubt they're going to have to update Warzone in some way, shape or form. Now, I think this is the perfect opportunity. Instead of going off and developing a brand spanking new Warzone map, I think what they should really just do is revive the Blackout map and bring that into the Warzone engine and get that in there, because that is a fucking excellent map. Now, I don't know how many of you watching this video will have played Blackout. There might be some of you that didn't play Blackout, so I'll explain it to you now really quickly. Essentially, Blackout's map was just a big Battle Royale canvas type map, like this big map, but it was essentially just a Treyarch's greatest hits compilation. It had all good parts from Treyarch multiplayer maps, they had parts from campaigns, they had parts from zombies as well. You had entire zombies maps on there. You had Nuketown Island, which had this top section just like the classic Nuketown, and underneath you had a bunker area which you could go into, which felt a little bit like Alpha Omega from Black Ops 4 Zombies. You also had Verruct, the Asylum from World at War. Black Ops, it's returned and remastered God knows how many times, but you had Verruct in there as well, which was a very cool point of interest. You could fight the zombies there too. The zombies were in Battle Royale, and Blackout was really cool stuff. You know, you could get a mystery box, clear out all the zombies in a region, you unlock the mystery box, get yourself some tier 3 armour. It was really cool the way that worked. So, there was all these different areas. There was like firing range, there was raid, there was just all these different areas from classic Black Ops maps, and it was amazing playing on that map. I absolutely loved it. I mean, like, I remember Rivertown, that was like the hottest area of the map. For some reason, Rivertown was. You'd think Nuketown would be, but Rivertown was so hot. And it was just the way that the map was laid out, it was so good. You were always getting into engagements with different squads when you were playing quads, and it was just amazing. I really enjoyed the pacing of the Blackout map, and I just really enjoyed playing on our greatest hits of Treyarch's multiplayer and zombies and everything. You know, you could go through all these different points of interest, and it just brings the nostalgia back for you if you've played all these old areas. And especially because when you're playing Blackout, you don't play it like you usually would. It's like Warzone as well. Like when you play the Warzone 2 map and you're in areas that are in multiplayer, like say Embassy or Azir Cave or one of these areas, you know, you don't play it like you would a standard multiplayer map where you're on the ground. That's when a lot more of the verticality comes in, so you're like jumping on, you can get on top of the roofs and all that sort of stuff. Like you could get on top of the roof of Verruct in the Blackout map, like you can get on top of the Asylum and stuff like that. Came out is really cool that you couldn't do in any other Call of Duty multiplayer, because obviously you're not really supposed to get up that high in 6v6 because then you've just got this advantage. But it was so cool, and it was such a unique map as well, like getting to play all these old maps that you loved from years gone by as part of a BR experience, and then you could go from that map up to the next map, and that was all really cool shit. And I mean, the main thing is it's a proven map. People really did enjoy the Blackout map. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I know I fucking loved it. So yeah, I would just absolutely love to see it come back, and it would just make it so much easier on Treyarch, Raven, whoever's going to be developing that map. It's easier than bringing out a brand new map that people might not like. You bring back the Blackout map, people are guaranteed to like it, and especially more than Verdansk, because Blackout, that map was a million fucking times better than Verdansk. I'm going to tell you that right now for a fact. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are you guys thinking about this next Treyarch game? You all excited for it? I'm just hoping that we get something decent, and I am hoping as well that with this extra time in development, we actually get a game that releases and is complete on day one. That is all I want from this game, is just for it to be fucking finished on day one and not broken as fuck like Cold War and Black Ops 4 were on release, because they were forced into shitty deadlines for those games. So yeah, leave your opinions in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe everybody, have a good one, peace.